Welcome to Recipe Club, where we debate the best way to cook the food you want to eat. My name is Chris Ying. Here in the clubhouse with me today are three people standing on a crowded sidewalk in their sunglasses, waiting for hours just to get some eggs and a mimosa. First, co-owner and operator of Bridgetown Roti here in Los Angeles, Malique Smith. Malique, how long are you willing to wait on a curb for brunch?
That's a tough question, Chris. I'll give it a solid 30 minutes before I pull out.
And then you're done.
Or Resi. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm a brunch person, but I'll brunch at my house. I will not brunch on the sidewalk as everyone enjoys their mimosas in front of me. No, thank you. I'll go brunch it at the house.
I could not be more with you. Wait, well, let's you know what? I'm just going to break for him. What is Bryan Ford? What's your limit? Brunch wait limit?
0 minutes.
0 minutes.
I will not wait for brunch.
Rashida, brunch limit, waiting.
-5 minutes.
-5. Cheers to that.
I can make it at home.
Next, you already heard from him, a Recipe Club legend status. OG wedgie baker, artisan baker, Bryan Ford. Bryan.
Man, what's up?
What's the most underrated breakfast pastry?
Underrated? The most underrated breakfast pastry is a good pan dulce. It could be a concha, it could be a semita. I think that here in the States, everyone gets bad quality versions of them, so they think they're dry. But if you go to a proper panaderia where they use good ingredients, it'll melt in your mouth, dip it in your coffee. You know what I'm saying? Or go to Mexico and get some pan dulce, dip it in your coffee. That's underrated as hell, man. Stop eating all these damn baskets of croissants and oh. Damn it. Anyway, I did what was told.
I'm so sorry. We're going to get to Rashida in 1 second. But before we started, I specifically said, no swearing, but if you do swear, don't stop and swear again at your swearing. And what did he do in his intro?
Well, that is payback for doing season 4 without me.
You were losing your legend status. Finally, chef and co-owner of Bridgetown Roti here in Los Angeles, Rashida Holmes. Rashida,
what's up?
You can only have one for the rest of your life.
Uh-oh.
Your brunching life. Is it sweet or savory?
It's savory. It's savory.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's chicken and waffles, I think.
Oh,
right?
Oh,
like the best one you've ever had. Like a bone-in.
That bridges the gap.
Pickled brine.
Does that answer count? That's both.
That's a little bit of both.
Yeah, because it's sweet or savory.
Well, I mean, it comes together on the menu.
That's
what does that have to do with anything?
with my answer that is a savory choice.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Personally.
I guess if the chicken's fried right, which I'm assuming it would be if you did it, then it would be savory leaning. So that's fair.
And a note on your conchas: just go to Northgate.
Northgate Gonzalez? I've been hearing about them.
Just go to Northgate.
About the market?
Yes.
Yeah, man, I gotta go. I don't live here.
Just go to Boyle Heights. Go to Northgate. Boyle Heights is Mexico. Straight up.
I love it.
That's where I live. I know.
I love
So, yeah, go to Boyle Heights. Go to Northgate.
That's my favorite kind of person. Someone who will tell me where to go get good pan dulce.
Yeah.
Like the respect level just like goes up.
Between.
Yeah.
As you can hear and see already, I have three top of the line experts here in the club with me today. I've brought them to debate the best way to cook a Sunday brunch dish that is so delicious it can't be contained by just one meal. It's not breakfast, it's not lunch. Each of them has prepared a publicly available brunch recipe and brought the results into the studio today. We've all had a chance to sample the goods, jotted down some notes, written down some scores. We're going to get to all of that after we set the table. All right, the bottomless mimosas have been distributed. It is time to set our table.
They have?
I've got this running list actually of all of the meals of the day. You know, because it's not just breakfast, lunch, and dinner. All around the world, you have breakfast. There's second breakfast. There's brunch. There's lunch. There's afternoon tea, merienda. In Germany, there's something called Großpass. Like a big break in the day just to eat some more food. You have midnight snacks, dinners. There are the in-between lunch and dinner meals. I want to eventually create a schedule of the day where there's a meal for every single hour. But before I accomplish my task, I want to ask you guys.
And then we have obesity in it.
I was like, is there a workout schedule?
It's a big poster and it just says how I got this way. It's just all of the meals of the day. Rashida, I'll start with you.
Yeah.
of all the meals of the day we're talking about here, breakfast, brunch, lunch, dinner, late night snacks, afternoon snacks, teas, all of these things, what are your top 3 meals of the day in order?
In order, I love lunch because it's just like, it's in the middle of the day. You can eat anything. There's no rules for lunch.
No rules for lunch. That's real. That's real.
You can eat anything. You can eat leftover dinner. You can eat leftover breakfast. You can make your own thing. It's the sandwich time, which I'm a huge sandwich person. Like, sandwiches feel like lunch. You have a sandwich for dinner, you feel like you're a little bit poor. But if you have a sandwich for lunch, you can feel very rich. So
I'm so with you on the lunch for dinner. No, you can't be doing that. You can't be doing that.
you can't have a sandwich for dinner. It's weird. You gotta have a sandwich for lunch. It's that is a lunch.
So lunch is freedom. Lunch is number 1.
Lunch is freedom.
What's number 2?
Dinner, because you can get fancy.
Unless you're eating sandwiches.
But then you have you're going out, you're having wine, you're having cocktails, you're having, you can go as low as you want, you can go as high end as you want.
You're all about option. You're all about freedom and optionality.
Freedom or options, but like dinner is when you can really get your fancy stuff on.
So
I can eat foie gras and filet mignon for dinner. I can't really eat that for breakfast. That sounds insane.
Well, so I'm going to assume breakfast is not your number 3 because breakfast is pretty restricted in terms of directions you can go.
This is true.
So what do you got? What's your 3rd?
Spanish siesta. Just because I love how the Spanish.
That's a nap,
right?
It's a meal and then a nap. This is what it is, and I admire the Spanish for putting it into their work schedule.
Right.
It's the day.
That is nice.
And I respect that.
I respect
it. Is just dedicating the bulk of the afternoon.
Leisure time.
I'm with you.
And you can have tapas and you can have a full meal, but the point is that you're at rest.
I'm with you.
What else
I'm
can
with
we
you,
add to
sister.
this?
No, I don't know. Like, don't even ask me.
I'm going to ask you guys, but you guys got to give me your quick answers. Top 3 meals, Brian. Go.
Dinner all day because it's like you accomplish your day of work. Hot dinner too, no cold dinner. You can't have cold dinner, cold salads. You gotta have a hot plate, a nice plato, a nice protein, a nice veggie, some arroz, some rice. You gotta have rice. That's about it. I don't like lunch too much anymore. As I'm getting older, like when I eat in the middle of the day, I crash. Cause like I like to eat the things I like to eat. So sandwiches, burritos, and all that kind of thing. It will put me to sleep. So I don't really do big lunch no more. And breakfast, I'll only do. Okay, the oatmeal I'm doing for the fiber because you already know, boy, got to get the LDL down. So I'm gonna get the oatmeal and the blueberry. Breakfast is a chore.
Breakfast is a chore.
Like,
yes,
you're waking up, and if you're gonna optimize your nutrition and not pass away early in life, you got to eat fiber and all this kind of thing. So, but if it's breakfast, but it's true. It's just true, right?
It
So
is true.
The way you were talking, Brian, I will say this. That is the coolest way I've ever heard anybody say something so uncool. Your boy's got to get that LDL down. I got to get my fiber.
Yeah.
You already know.
But I'll say, about to be a dad, you know what I'm saying? Got to start watching.
Oh, yeah.
So, but what thing you think? But what I'm saying, if I'm going to eat a good plato típico, a good Honduran breakfast with the fried plátanos, the eggs, the ham, the beans, I have to have nothing to do that day.
Because
Because
really
if
brunch.
I wake up
That's
and
brunch,
eat
yeah.
this
That's brunch.
plato,
That's
I'm
brunch.
dead.
Yeah, that's
So
brunch. That's brunch.
I love breakfast, like a good plate, but I can't really be eating it. So dinner for me is you earned it, you worked, you burnt calories. All you got to do after that is go to bed. So I feel like I deserve to eat.
We're going to get into, because Rashida, you started talking about the difference between breakfast and brunch, which we need to get to in a second. But I got to give Malique a chance. Just give me your top 3.
Oh, yeah, I'll give it to you short. So first up is definitely breakfast. I don't care what these two said. You got to start your day right. Get you some fruit, get you some oatmeal. Just because it's breakfast doesn't mean you need waffles and flapjacks and French toast. I mean, I love all of those things, but during the week, I'm eating oatmeal and blueberries.
LDL on me.
My fiber alignment is great. My LDL is killing me.
Who says flapjacks?
My LDL is chilling.
You feel me? But no, 100% breakfast, and then it's lunch. If I don't eat, but by the middle of the day, I'm
Tell me
really
about
cranky. She experiences this really bad, like she's learned it a bad way. But I definitely need my lunch, and then dinner. I might have had a big lunch, and I might not need a full dinner. And who knows?
Just a 1, 2,
I might
3
be
in a day kind of guy,
I might
huh?
be poor and have a sandwich for dinner.
How dare you?
All right, Malik's a traditionalist. So 1, 2, 3,
1,
breakfast,
2, 3.
lunch, and dinner.
Jesus.
His day just gets progressively worse.
100%.
Start to finish. All right, Rashida, you started talking about it though.
Oh, yeah,
you
I
started
did.
saying
'Cause he's-
that's brunch.
Yeah, that's
not
brunch.
breakfast.
Yes.
Tell me what you mean. What is the difference? We're talking about brunch today.
Yeah.
So what's the difference between a breakfast recipe and a brunch recipe, or a brunch dish and a breakfast dish?
A brunch dish is a dish you don't have to do anything afterwards. Like you eat brunch to then go rest again.
So you're saying is a breakfast burrito really a brunch burrito?
Yes, a breakfast burrito is a brunch
Breakfast
burrito.
burrito,
I
this is my thing.
100% agree.
I'm
Breakfast
with you.
burrito, too big. That is a brunch.
That is a
dish.
brunch. That's brunch.
What
with
about
you.
a sausage, egg, and cheese on a bagel?
Depends on the size of the bagel.
Yeah,
It
borderline.
depends.
Borderline.
Where'd you eat it at? You
So
know?
hold on. So when did breakfast become something that if it doesn't put you to sleep, it's breakfast, and if
Yeah,
it
that's
puts you
what
to
I'm
sleep,
saying.
it's
I mean,
brunch?
Yeah,
Breakfast-
that's the definition.
Breakfast gives you energy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Brunch takes it away.
Exactly.
But in a
Nailed
good way.
it.
In a good way.
In a good way.
Yeah.
Brunch
Some-
is also
somebody write
you know
that
you're
down.
eating 2 meals combined.
Yeah.
It's also got to hold you over to dinner or beyond.
Yeah.
That's basically it.
And
right?
you're eating it at a time where all you have left really is the option to choose a light lunch, maybe.
Yeah.
You feel me? And then you can fully commit to a dinner.
Yeah.
You know?
That's when you have
Coming
sandwich for
from- but you
dinner
said-
That's what you
after
have.
brunch.
Yes.
You said your dinner was maybe you had a big lunch. So I don't know how I feel about that. I could never
I
survive
mean-
like, oh, what we have for dinner? I had a big lunch, so I'm good.
You don't eat dinner is what the truth is.
You don't really eat dinner, huh?
You don't play with dinner.
Wow, I feel attacked.
well, we got to get to the bottom of this.
I do eat dinner. It's just usually on the lighter side.
Okay.
It's probably the healthier thing.
You subscribe to the German idea of the Abendbrot,
Is that what it's called?
the light meal.
Yeah.
Their main meal is the lunch meal.
Oh,
And
okay.
there's the light little grazing for dinner.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
I disagree with them.
Oh, thanks a lot. Appreciate it, Chris. Thank you. That's all right.
All right, so a brunch meal is going to be a little hefty. It's going to be. It can still be breakfast. It's eggs. It is pancakes and things like that. It is just maybe done up, plussed up a little bit.
Yeah.
And
Right?
it's also lunch.
It's also lunch. So let me ask you this before we move on to our recipe reports. No sandwiches for dinner. But you know that brunch menu you go out and it is like it's like breakfast stuff and then some things from the lunch menu are on there. Like the burger makes its way onto the
Yep.
brunch menu.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is that okay? Are you guys down with like the
Yes.
burger for brunch?
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, you have to because it's 11 o'clock. I mean, so you might want a burger.
You might want a burger. And also,
yeah.
like your party, maybe somebody ate a light breakfast and they trying to have lunch.
yeah.
You know
No,
what I'm saying?
I don't discriminate against the burgers on the brunch menu. All right. I'm very for that. I just want to put a PSA out there. You don't have to put a fried egg on the burger for me to believe it's brunch. It's okay to just put the burger
Tell
on the
the
menu.
truth.
All right? We don't. Look, I don't know what camera's looking at. We don't need to put the fried egg on the burger. It's okay.
We get it.
We get it.
You didn't
can
have
just
to.
be a
You
burger.
didn't
It
have
can
to
just
do
be a
it.
burger.
Yeah.
I think just less fried eggs on burgers in general.
Yes.
I agree.
100%
It doesn't
agree.
work.
It doesn't
doesn't
work.
work.
And what does it do?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Makes it messy.
Makes it messy.
I checked into a hotel here and I got a club sandwich. They had fried egg on it. It was dripping everywhere. This is my club. This is my 3-stack with the toothpick.
Instagram has.
I don't need
this
a- I
is
don't need a
Instagram's
egg
fault.
on
This
that.
is Instagram's fault. You're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Runny
It's
yolk,
Instagram's fault.
Instagram. Has
Like I
made
love
it-
runny yolk.
but I don't need
Just-
it on
I don't need it
everything.
on
But I don't
everything.
need it on my burger.
Not on a sandwich, on a burger.
Yeah. Agree. I think that homemade brunch is a little different. Do you think that if you're going to make brunch at home, you're not cooking anybody? It's different than breakfast in that I'm not doing, here's your egg the way you like it, here's whatever. It's a little more family style, right? Like brunch
sure.
service at home,
Yeah.
right? Is a family style thing, more or less. Okay. I feel like we're on the right page. I feel like the table has been set for our recipe reports,
Yeah.
which we're going to get into.
There's
agree.
there's smoke. There's about to be fire.
I hope not.
I mean,
I thought it was all delicious.
I thought it was delicious.
We're going to get into recipe reports right
I don't
after
know what's going on in the middle of the table.
About to be fire.
All right, it is time for our recipe reports. Each of our 3 Recipe Club members has chosen a publicly available recipe to take for a spin. This week's recipes come from The Kitchen. Otto Lengi and the New York Times, Rashida, Bryan, and Malique brought the results of their investigations here to the studio. Everybody tasted everything. Everybody scored everything. And we're going to go into each of these recipes one at a time, starting with Rashida Holmes. Rashida, you chose the Indian spice tomato and egg casserole from the New York Times. This is a recipe that Melissa Clark, I think, adapted from the late, great Floyd Cardoz of Tabla and Bombay Canteen and a million very, very important restaurants. Tell us about this recipe. How did it go for you? Take it away.
Can I be truthful?
I hope that you have been so far.
So, I don't have a New York Times subscription, so I couldn't read the recipe. But I saw the picture of the recipe.
Absolutely wild, dude.
You want to know something else? I was there on the computer when she was looking at the recipe. Couldn't get past the
I couldn't
paywall.
get past the paywall.
Rashida, we could have hooked it up.
I agree with you there, but I run a restaurant. I didn't have time for all that,
I'm
so
with you.
I made it work. Here's the thing about egg casserole and tomato sauce.
Yes.
There's not a culture in this world that don't have eggs in a casserole and tomato sauce.
Yeah.
They call it shakshuka. They call it eggs and tomato sauce in Mexico. They call it basically ackee and eggs and saltfish. It's like basically kind of the same thing. And so I was like, cool, eggs, tomato sauce, I got you. So I made my own version. But I stayed true to the Indian spices of it all.
Okay.
Used a lot of curry powder in there. Used some galangal and some tomato paste, and really try to make a nice base, kind of salty base for the eggs, and then not season the eggs at all. So that's a nice contrast of salty sauce with the eggs to kind of balance it out. And threw some curry leaves on there because we love our curry leaves for Indian spices. Topped it with some cilantro, scallions, cojita. It looked like the picture, right?
It looked like the
It
picture.
did look like the
you look.
picture.
You made it,
You did not look like the picture.
you made it look as much as like the part of the article that you could see. You stayed true to the part of the
Followed
article
the
you could see.
directions for the most part.
Spices. You did curry powder, garam masala. What did you go with here?
I went with at Bridgetown we make all our curry powders in house. So I was like, cool. I used our turmeric curry powder, which is like has about 20 different spices in it, but the dominant ones are cumin, coriander, cinnamon, turmeric, and curry leaves are the main ones in that curry powder. And then some freshly grated tomato so that they cook with the eggs. And then a little bit of a galangal, garlic, and tomato paste in there as well.
Okay, and then just
Crack the eggs,
bake it,
and
you're done.
It's the easiest thing you can do to impress your friends and family. And you can use whatever is your favorite tomato sauce and just zhuzh it up. And they'll be like, oh my Lord, what did you make us?
Yeah.
Well, what really made us say, "Oh my Lord," was you didn't. So here's the thing: I've never understood about casseroles. Period. Whether they are like the Midwest style casserole or anything.
With Jello?
The Jello casserole. I've never
gross.
understood it because I'm like, that's it. Like
Yes.
it's like a scoop of this, and I just eat this thing the way it is. You know,
Yeah.
you came in with roti.
I did.
With cocoa bread.
I did.
Cocoa bread went crazy.
Because you got to have something to dip.
You gotta have something to dip.
It's a dippable thing. It's like you want to dip it. You want to make a little tomato egg sandwich on your bread.
Talk about it.
So you got to have a dip. And you can buy that bread. You don't have to make that bread. You toast it up like a little sourdough. I'm telling you, your family is going to be like, what did you make? This is amazing.
I think that I bring that up because I think it is crucial. The way you eat it, the dip of it. So the original recipe has, from the New York Times, has fingerling potatoes as sort of a base, and then you put this tomato stuff on top. I was like a little nervous. I'm like, that's not. It's just not. I don't know. I just grew up. I'm sure. Like you're similarly. It's like, I need this, and then I need a thing to dip in it.
Yep.
Yes.
Smother this on top of. I need them.
Fingerlings wasn't gonna cut it.
Fingerlings
Yeah,
wasn't
it was
gonna
not
cut it.
Fingerlings was not gonna. Fingerlings was not.
I'm happy we left that out.
If I had read the recipe, I would have left
Would
the
not have
fingerlings
left
out
the fingerlings.
anyway.
There we
So
go.
You don't strike me as the fingerling type.
actually,
You know what
I
I'm
love a
saying?
fingerling.
We love a good fingerling.
but like
at
a
Bridgetown.
fried fingerling.
A fried fingerling.
A fried.
On the side of something
crispy.
else.
Now-
Inside of something.
Inside of something or crisped up.
I would have even dipped them in there.
Or I
could
yeah,
dip 'em. I
dipped
would've
them
dipped 'em
in.
in
too.
Dipped them
But
in.
it's
That
the
would have worked.
all-in-oneness to me. And I was just like, I can't have it all.
I agree.
Yeah, I don't
So
need that.
I can't do it.
aren't you guys glad I didn't read the recipe?
I'm very glad. Although,
Thank God to the paywall.
production note, Let's make sure our various club members have access to the recipes we're sending them.
I was expecting a Word doc. Well, y'all sent the link. I said, all right, well, cool.
As a start,
Straight on the link.
let's get into some of the feedback for
Oh, yes,
your
please.
contestants.
What do you
and
have to say?
I don't know.
My first note, like I've already praised you for. Thank God for the breads you brought for dipping. Just would not have worked for me. I love what you said about the heavily seasoned, salty sort of gravy, unseasoned egg.
Yes.
You know, we made Rashida bring this into the studio, so the eggs are already sort of set. But I can really imagine, you know, a runny egg or whatever cracked into is gonna balance out the saltiness.
Yes,
I think
that is the idea.
So smart, and I think you took the gravy just to like. It's such a chefy thing to bring it right to the edge of, is this too salty?
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
it's not, because it eats with the egg. I don't
And
know
the
what's
bread,
happening.
and the bread.
It's perfect.
Yeah, yes.
I think the idea of whatever you want to call it, like an egg curry or anything, is just an underrated thing in general. I think really delicious.
Yes, I agree. Even like a hard-boiled egg curry is really good.
I love so my only criticism, and it's not even of the dish itself. I've never been in love with the shakshuka where the egg is cooked in the tomato sauce. I like a lot of like you're talking about like Mexican eggs and tomato sauce and things like this. Whether the egg is fried separately or it's scrambled or whatever, it's personal preference. I don't love the sort of baked in the tomato sauce, but that's just my thing.
I feel you.
Malique,
Oh, man.
appreciated the spice and flavor. The texture.
This is my business partner, so I gotta
y'all gotta go to work after this. So
I gotta watch him.
Y'all gotta.
He appreciated the breads to dip.
Yes.
Found it a little oily.
Oily.
Well, that's new.
Oily.
Oil.
He was paralyzed a bit by the choice you presented him. 2 breads to dip. He found that to be a problem. He couldn't choose.
What can I do?
Serious?
Hey, look, let me just say this criticism. This criticism was as hard as the SATs.
Why didn't you use both?
I did, but it was hard. It was hard. I didn't know who to use first. You know?
No more choices for Malique. Got it.
Malique said he just needs more. Next time, more, please.
Yeah.
His mind was blown. Can you add some protein? He asks.
Yes.
I can add some protein. You can add some protein. You know what's really good too? Like ground lamb would be like a lovely addition to that. Not for him because he don't read red meat, but for the rest of us,
Thanks
ground lamb would be great.
Thanks for telling the world.
No
about my
problem.
dietary
That's
prescriptions.
okay. We already talked about our LDL.
You are who you are.
No wonder it's on point.
You're right.
I mean, like we already talked about the fiber.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Your blood pressure is excellent. That's all we're saying.
We know so much about Malique's health now. Give us your vitals.
Right? It's like a whole HIPAA violation. Episode.
Brian said excellent spice level. Pairings were perfect. I think you mean bread and sauce.
The breads, yeah.
Comforting flavor. You thought too salty.
Yes, I did. I did think it was too salty, but not in a way where I couldn't finish it.
I feel you.
Like, if
it was
I
on the
couldn't-
edge of glory. I'll
Yeah.
admit that.
Like,
It was
if
on the
I couldn't
edge.
finish it, it would have been like a problem. But it was delicious. But I thought I had a little.
No, it was
It was
dancing on
it
a
was
razor's
dancing.
edge.
It was dancing.
there.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think here's the thing. You said egg should have been runny. Again, I
Yeah.
excuse that because we brought it into the studio. It's a tough thing to do. But I genuinely believe if it was runny egg, that salt level would have been
Yes.
exactly
Yeah, that's
perfect.
And actually, I pulled it out when the egg was running. I was like, it's not gonna stay runny.
That's a good point.
time I get to the studio.
That's smart.
That's a good
This
point
is
about
not.
the cook.
I almost was
Yeah.
like, should I fry an egg and like put it on top and bring
Yeah.
it? But I didn't do that.
Brian, you asked, how dare you, roti from scratch?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. We
Well,
don't
I
play.
just didn't know. I mean, I just wanted to double check. But that's your whole business. Isn't
Oh,
it?
yeah, it is
Okay.
the whole business,
So,
yeah.
so as I heard the name of the restaurant, I was like, oh. I literally, I was like, I apologize. I should have looked into it.
It's okay.
I mean, because I was going to say it felt like it was. I just wanted to.
I was gonna. It's a great question.
great question. You gotta come get some.
I was
with
not confused by the roti and cocoa bread. I ate them both.
people wouldn't
Yeah, I
be.
ate them both.
Most people.
What would have been dope if we had a individual cocoa bread and we could have scooped it in and had a one egg in, scooped in, and ate it like a taco.
Everything's a taco for you.
Everything's
buddy.
a taco for you.
Rashida, before we move on, I'm just going to ask you this. You
Yeah.
know, would you recommend to our listeners that they look at the picture of this recipe and then make some version of it on their own? Like you're into the idea of the recipe overall?
Yes. I think that's exactly how you should approach this recipe because in the picture you can't see the fingerlings and you shouldn't put them in there. So
They shouldn't be seen.
I often approach recipes by like, oh, that looks cool. I'm gonna make it. Comes, from cooking a lot. But yeah, that's the vibe. It's your favorite tomato sauce, your favorite eggs cooked to your liking, your favorite bread, some cheese on there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Winner, brunch.
For dinner.
Strong recommendation. There you have it. A strong recommendation from Rashida for the picture that accompanies a recipe behind a paywall.
You can do it. You'll be fine.
We've got 2 more to get to, which we're going to right after this very important break. All right. Our second recipe report comes from... I was kidding. You still have your legend status. An OG recipe club wedgie, Bryan Ford.
It was kind of offensive that you revoked my legend status within a minute of season 4.
Well, it was kind of offensive.
Just because I don't live here and I can't come on here all the time, you think you could just...
Kind of offensive. You broke the one rule I gave you within the first sentence you said.
Yeah.
How you been, buddy?
Money?
Money, buddy. My money, buddy.
I'm good. It's good to be here with y'all, man.
Wait, where do you live?
I live in an undisclosed location.
Heard that. No need to tell nobody.
That's a lot. That's a lot. I'm trying to get there. Off the map.
He said, I'll tell you after.
I'll tell you after. I just moved out of New York City, though.
Oh, right on.
Listen, after leaving that city,
my
city,
we vibing.
You definitely want to get.
I feel you.
Get off the map.
Yeah, we off the map a little bit. But we're definitely on the map. But
the LDLs are low and the sun shines all the time.
Fiber's high.
Bryan, you chose for your return to the club pancakes, maple brown butter apples, and sesame praline.
Yep. Yep.
From
I did.
Ottolenghi.
Absolutely. I don't know who Ottolenghi is. I had no idea who Ottolenghi was. So, but I did.
Ottolenghi, a chef, a very popular chef from the UK.
Oh, my bad, Ottolenghi. My bad, bro. Or fam, my bad.
His books are great.
Who has got some great books. Who might carry your bread if you hadn't just insulted him. I'm just kidding.
Hey, Ottolenghi. Disculpa. You heard me? My bad. All right.
According to Ottolenghi, nothing says autumn like warm buttery apples and maple syrup. Here they're used as a topping for fluffy, tender American-style pancakes. Perfect for a cozy weekend brunch. Bryan, what drew you to this recipe of the ones on the list? And talk us through your experience of making it.
Well, I just realized that I'm gonna have to apologize to Ottolenghi again. So that's why I said there was smoke and there will be fire. No, I picked another recipe and I think that I had to switch. I was gonna do another thing, so I kind of was panicking because I had to pick something quick, and I was like, man, let me do these pancakes, man. The brown butter, maple brown butter pancakes with the praline. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna do them. And I didn't look at it until this morning when I got to the studio. I think it tastes really. I think it's delicious, right? I think it's a delicious situation. But I think there's a lot of stuff about making it that were just completely unnecessary.
So talk to us about walk us through step by step as much as you can.
So first of all, it's called brown butter, maple brown butter. So I was thinking that you might brown butter.
Makes sense.
All right. So there is no browned butter in this recipe. So that was the first thing I thought was strange because I'm like, well, why are we calling it brown butter if I never browned any butter? That's why I was saying I'm gonna have to apologize to homie again. So that was the first thing I was like, okay, so I never browned any butter.
I'm intrigued.
Then I made this brittle, the sesame praline, right? So I took the time, first of all, so I'm warming up butter on the pan. Then it says to add warm sesame seeds to it. So I had to warm this, and you see, I tried to do by the book. I was like, let me go and warm these sesame seeds. Don't add cold sesame seeds, warm. So I warmed them. Took them out warm, put in the pan. Sugars got caramelized. Put it on the pan, put it in the oven. Baked up this nice, beautiful, crispy praline. Let it rest for 20 minutes. Then it says to crunch it into the food processor and form a paste. And I was like, why did I make the praline then if I was going to make a paste out of it? So I was a little bit kind of just, I was going through it and it was a good bit of work. And I was like, this is all very ridiculous. Like it's too much work for okay, the last thing I'll say about it in a negative way, because I don't want to go so negative that we like, damn, B, like the milk vinegar thing, that was not, I've never, I don't really do that when I make pancakes.
What are you talking about? People don't know.
Curdling milk with vinegar.
Oh, yeah.
Like I get it, but again, like, you know, there's much easier ways to make pancakes, like getting a box. You know, because to be honest with you, like that was the thing when I finished this whole thing. I had the apples; they taste good, but it wasn't really brown butter. I had the brittle, but I could have made that paste without making a praline. Like I could have just made a sesame paste with butter, and then the pancake itself, it tasted fine. And I was like, I wouldn't recommend someone make this recipe. I'm gonna just say that right now because I think it's Sunday brunch, you know, Mother's Day, whatever it's gonna be. Time is everything. So how do you optimize time? You get the box mix, you can make it taste better than that very quickly. So that's just how I was feeling when I made it. Cause I was like, man, I did all this, you know, and the reward didn't feel worth it to me to do all of these things.
I see what you're saying. I think so. The pancake recipe sort of has you curdle milk with apple cider vinegar. Ostensibly, the vinegar is there to sort of activate the leavening, the baking soda. But you made a candy basically, and then as soon as the candy was ready, you threw it in a food processor and blitzed it into a flour.
I blitzed it back into its original form. Also, this calls for self-rising flour, like a random, like maybe a fourth of the total flour is self-rising. And then also baking soda, baking powder.
Which is what is in self-raising flour.
Yeah. I was kind of just
redundant.
Like, look, man, I was just like, I wasn't really like, look, I think it tastes great. Like you could serve these, for sure, you can make these pancakes. I think it tastes good, interesting. The brittle on its own got stuck in my teeth, so I didn't serve it on it. But give me I'm not even gonna say the brand, but give me the yellow box. You know what I'm saying? Give me the yellow box, add an egg and some vegetable oil, and the pancakes come out fluffy, simple, put some syrup on it. That would be a better option if you're doing pancakes for brunch. In my humble opinion, I just like derailed my own. I derailed, but that's how I feel.
It's okay.
That's just
He's
just
talking
where I'm
about
at.
Ying's old-fashioned pancake mix available wherever you can find your fine pancake mixes.
Yeah, Chris, get that brand deal, brother.
I feel you. I mean, we'll get into the feedback here, but I think hearing you talk about this and sort of the many, many steps of this, you also sort of made the apples here.
Yeah, so maple brown butter apples. What I did to make the apples was I thinly sliced 4 apples, cored them, no problem. Some butter in the pan. And that's when it hit me that I never browned butter because I was going through this. So I'd spent
Where's the brown butter?
Yeah. Where's the brown butter?
The brown butter? I'm a brown man. Let me brown my butter.
Brown butter. If you're gonna call something brown, you better properly brown it or be brown. You know what I'm saying? So like you can't just be throwing brown around and then be like, see, to me, that was some brown washing. All right? They brown washed these apples.
You can't be throwing brown around.
What?
You can't be throwing brown around.
So what I'm saying is this. I did this brittle for 30 minutes.
Listen,
right,
I think you said it all with you can't be throwing brown around.
Did the brittle 30 minutes. Then I was like, okay, cool. Apples, pan, butter, sugar, sliced apples. Then it was like maple syrup. I was like, oh, these must be the maple brown butter apples. And I was like, but where's the brown butter? I never browned. I got upset.
Struggling with that.
So that was just like, look, this is all really rough criticism. It's a delicious recipe. It's a tasty recipe. It's fun. It has a little creative twist with the sesame. I mean, the sesame little paste thing does taste pretty cool, but I just think it was.
I think that overall, to me, this is the kind of effort that like a restaurant has to put in.
I was just gonna say it's a very chefy recipe
too
because like
chefy.
the milk and the vinegar is just buy buttermilk.
Just buy
Just buy
buttermilk.
buttermilk.
And then you have the thing that you're trying to achieve.
That you make it.
Just buy
Buy
buttermilk.
buttermilk and you'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, and
don't
Rashida,
need to
it's
make
like
it.
the chefiest thing in the world is like, let's make a praline and then grind it up.
Grind it up. They love it.
And it was the perfect. It's such a great
Pastry
little
chefs
praline.
love to do that. They make like this beautiful like pecan praline with the caramel, and then they blitz it into it. And I'm like,
Why did I do that? Why did I have to warm the sesame seeds before adding it to the
that
pan?
part I don't
There's
know.
a lot of whys in this recipe. I'll tell you that.
It upset me.
That
I
is
understand.
like
Not
a very
toast.
No, not toast. Warm
them.
them.
that's like a very
Nah.
particular
Yeah, I don't like
thing. I'm sure it has just like you don't want to cool the sugars too quickly with cold blah
Something
blah
like
blah
that.
blah blah. But
blah,
it's
blah.
like
How
over
cold
the
is
top.
a sesame seed?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was
they
like,
room temp?
Yeah, like why I gotta warm?
Why do you
It says
have
to? I feel
warm,
like
but
they're
not
room temp.
warm, but not toasted.
Okay.
So I'm like, bro, what you? I did it too.
I
And I like
agree.
his
Personally,
books.
I find sesame seeds to be way too cold. Generally.
That's generally the criticism.
Let's get
of
into
sesame
some of
seeds.
the feedback. Speaking of criticism, listen, recipe aside, I thought this tasted great.
Yeah.
I thought the
Yeah, it was
texture
good.
of
It
the
was
pancake
good.
was really nice.
Yeah.
I don't really care that much about a big fluffy pancake. I like a tender.
Yeah.
Like this is a great texture of pancake to me. I don't need it to be 2 inches
the
tall.
thick-
Like
yeah,
I'm not. I don't care about
homemade
that.
buttermilk.
I think the brittle by itself, which you let us taste out of the bag after withholding it for us for a while,
Yeah.
Brittle bag.
was really
Coming to
good.
store
It
soon.
was really good.
You know, I imagine you didn't take the temp on the sugar or anything. You just sort of watched it. Like it's a perfect kind of candy crunch
I'm
texture.
a baker, you know. I got.
I appreciate this
You
is
know
like
some
the
things.
chefiness I do appreciate in this is there's a nice salt to all of it. None of it is overly just sweet. I don't need the jam, and I had the same brittle in my teeth situation. But overall, you know, it's a good pancake. My kids would eat this and not appreciate any of the work I had put into it.
Yeah.
And that's why I think the box is better.
Malique, fluffy. You like the pancakes. You love the apples.
Oh yeah, apples. I'm an apple guy.
Nice.
Like I'm an
Okay.
apple turnover guy, apple pie guy. So when I saw apples on there, and then you had this deep backstory on the apples, which I thought you had. I still subscribed. I still was here for the apples. I thought it was like, oh well, I got these apples from like my front tree, and then like a squirrel was trying to like rob them from me, and you had to like go after the squirrel. I don't know, but it was great.
So I built up some hype around the apples.
You did.
Right.
I thought
You kept on
apples-
asking about the
You're
apples.
underwhelmed.
Yeah, I mean, not with the dish.
With the
story for sure.
The story, yes.
But we're not judging on narrative. I think
aren't we? Aren't we?
Hey, we could.
Maybe
but
I did get them from my front tree.
We can hate it however we want.
So for the
Undisclosed
listener, as we
location.
were tasting, everybody was sort of asking about the apples, and Brian kept on teasing that he had some kind of great story about these apples. So Malique was expecting a big
I don't
reveal.
know if
and
I
instead-
said I had a great story. I think I said I got to talk about these apples.
And then Brian,
Can we roll that tape back? Does anyone have that?
I'll save it for discussion. I got things to say about the apple. I never said it was bad or good.
You said you had something to
You had something to
say.
say. You did.
There was no brown butter.
That was what you had to say.
Yes.
We were just expecting more.
Maybe there was a
Are
dramatic
there
tone.
even apple
I have
trees here?
more to tell
Like
you
what
about
did
the
you do? You think I
apples.
flew them in
You
from
just
like an upstate orchard?
you set
No,
the
it's
expectations too high.
Yeah.
That's right. It was like we were watching the
set us
teaser
up.
first show. It was like somebody's gonna die, and it's just like some character we never heard of.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
You know.
Okay, all right. Well,
Malik,
my
you appreciate the
apologies.
creme fraiche. I thought the creme fraiche was
Creme
nice
fraiche
on
is
there
really
too.
nice. Yeah.
Your criticisms, you didn't serve Malik any brittle. No brittle for me.
Yeah.
That's what he says.
Well, I did ultimately pass you the bag.
Well, you know, I got the brittle after I wrote that, but you know.
Yeah.
The way you served it to us, can you talk about? So instead of a stack, how did you serve these to us?
So I made one batch of this recipe because I guess maybe I should have thought about doubling it or something. And the pan I used yielded pancakes this big, and so I didn't have enough to give everyone a stack. And I thought if I gave you a single pancake, I don't know, I was just like fold it up and eat it like a taco type thing.
And we're
you
back
know?
to tacos.
So we're back to tacos. Yes, yes. But I'm assuming you didn't like that.
Yeah, you know, I'm a stat guy. I don't, you know, it goes back to some more gripes with these
I'm a stack guy.
these metropolitan menus, right? Don't give me a pancake like trio set. You know, don't try to reinvent the pancake.
That is not what I tried to do.
No, not saying you did, but this is just a PSA with the fried egg.
Another PSA.
All right?
I mean, we could have given
this
you the display. We should hear.
This
Sorry.
pancake.
Here,
This pancake-
we got the brittle and the stack.
is-
Let the man finish. Let the man
This
finish.
pancake is delicious. I just wouldn't eat it as a taco, but I would have preferred it in a stack. It doesn't take away from the deliciousness, but we're going to take away a point for format.
So you're talking about the kind of more chefy breakfast diner you go to these days, where you get a single pancake,
Yeah.
a single large pancake.
Yeah.
You
I
need some
a stack.
verticality.
I need like a stack. Give me some levels.
I respect that, and I apologize. I didn't give you
Don't
a stack.
apologize.
You know what I'm saying?
It's
I respect
okay.
that.
I don't like the stack.
You don't like the stack?
No,
I
'cause
also don't like the
middle
stack.
pancake
It's okay.
doesn't get anything.
Middle
gets
pan-
no love.
How you eating your pancakes? Maybe we need to talk about that.
Yeah. Well,
You do a 3-layer slice, right? And you can go.
No, but
into
while
all
you're
three.
stacking,
Yeah, but
while
then-
you're stacking it, you have to treat each.
Yeah.
You do that for me, is what I'm saying.
I agree with you though. I also don't like a stack because I never want to eat more than one pancake.
I only want one pancake.
I only want
That
one
is true.
pancake.
I'm a 2 pancake, 3 pancake.
I never
guy.
want
You know
that.
what, Malik? True to form, you did ask for a double stack specifically.
Thank you.
And his third criticism was this is not available to him every day. He did enjoy it.
Oh,
Your-
delicious.
that's a compliment, not a quiz.
Your
I
questions,
mean, hey.
your question, Malik. You can tell me if you feel like you got a satisfactory answer yet or not. But what happened to the apples during development.
I guess now we know.
I guess we got our answer.
Nothing.
There was nothing special about my apples.
I mean, they were delicious.
And you're an apple guy.
I'm an apple guy.
I let you down.
That's okay.
Rashida, you thought the crunchy, brittle butter texture vibe was nice.
It's the best. I loved it. I want it on every pancake for the rest of my life.
I like even though it was a pain to blitz your brittle and turn it into a butter, I like a sandy butter crunchy thing. That was really good. Pancake is fluffy. Taco vibe is fun.
Yeah, see? Because I'm a one pancake girl. So I was like, cool. One pancake, one taco pancake.
You want a little maple flavor.
Yeah, I thought the maple flavor wasn't there.
It wasn't there. Okay. All right.
You want a little more texture of the apples? They were a little soft for you?
Yes.
I did let them sit for a minute. Okay.
Thicker apple.
Okay, thicker
But
apple.
again, I'm just nitpicking. It was delicious.
No, please.
I love
And
it.
I agree with you. It's just like I think this is a really nice dish. You don't need the jam. The jam doesn't.
Yeah, the jam.
So the recipe does not call for jam? It does not call for jam. There was jam in the mise en place, and so I guess somebody wanted me to use it. Or someone was trying to sabotage me and they put that jam there. So I panicked. I grabbed it. I panicked. I opened it and I panicked. I used it. But it is not in the recipe. It wasn't needed.
I'm opting
Holla
out.
at your boy.
Opt out. Another
the
like
third on the
fresh
opt-out
fruit,
list.
I think, would have been like a raspberry or like a strawberry, like just to add some acidity. Texture.
Even if you're sort of saying don't make this at home, this is a top tier pancake for sure.
Oh, yeah. It's a great pancake.
Oh, it's a great pancake.
Thanks.
It's a top tier pancake,
Yeah.
and I do want you. We're going to give you a chance to change your mind in closing arguments. I would say there are people out there who like to do this kind of cooking at home, who like to do really projecty, chefy recipes at home, and would be super happy to serve that. When we get back to closing arguments, I want you to speak to that audience of
Fine.
like if you're a crazy person.
Yeah. All right, fine.
But still buy your buttermilk, though.
Yeah.
Buy your buttermilk.
Don't
leave the vinegar.
Yeah, please.
Wherever it's at.
I thought it was delicious.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, we have one more recipe report to go. Malique, you chose easy French toast casserole recipe from the kitchen with no E. I don't know how to pronounce that. Kitchen. This is
that like chicken with no E?
This has 5 stars based on 9 reviews.
Oof.
A recipe by Patti Catalano.
They might not have had mine.
Also, 9 reviews is not that many.
Damn, you straight calling them out. Yeah, 9 reviews. Like, did they just post it?
Yeah, like, is it posted
Like, was it
yesterday?
just posted today?
I'm just saying.
Or like, it's been on there since 2013 in the archives, and you just found it.
It's so brutal. No. Published February 8th. Okay, so this
Okay.
This thing has not had a lot of time to gather
That's yeah, we got to show
That's
some
enough.
respect.
That's a short amount of time.
You're doing great, Patty.
Yeah, Patty, you're great. We like
Malique,
you.
why'd you choose this recipe? Talk to us about your journey to this casserole we have in front of us here.
Keyword is easy. French toast is my preferred of the top 3.
Mary F. Kill, pancakes, waffles, French toast.
Pancakes are dying. French toast I'm marrying.
You F around with a little waffle.
And then I'll F around with a little waffle. The waffle could be my side chick. I'm here.
meet my fried chicken.
No, it'd be a side chick.
Could be my side chick.
Which is, I don't know if it's
That sounds good too.
Meet my fried chicken.
That sounds good too.
Drumstick.
So keyword was easy. French toast, your
Keyword was
preference.
Then we're in a throuple.
Yeah, it was a pretty easy recipe, and I'll tell you how it happened. So we sell these cocoa bread cutters at the restaurant. They're a big hit. They're getting really popular. Brought to you by Cafe Tropical on Sunset. Shout out Ed. Shout out Danny. Shout out Tokes. But Rashida had this idea. She was like, why don't you think about using the cocoa bread that we use? So I just got a batch. Last night, I successfully made a 9x13 pan of this casserole. It had blueberries in it, right? Mm-hmm. It was really good. It didn't have expired vanilla extract like this
Was
one
that an
does.
option? Oh, this one does.
Very specific. Very
Unlike
specific.
this one, but
Oh, this one does.
yeah. So we'll give you. I'll give you.
Did we
I'll
sign
tell
a
you how
waiver?
that happened.
Did we sign a death waiver?
I'll tell you how this happened. So I made it last night. I left it in the fridge. And I woke up this morning, I removed the aluminum foil, and an L was missing out of the casserole dish. And I only live with my little brother. So I said, hey, D, what happened to the rest of my casserole? He said, I thought it was for everybody. Bro, it's only 2 of us living in here. You couldn't ask. It's not like it's some...
He's 16.
It's not like it's my favorite takeout. You ate something I have to go on a podcast with.
Yeah.
And now it's 9 o'clock, and I have to remake this thing. So what you are looking at is my remake. All right? So I just want to maybe talk to the judges about an additional point for my labor this morning. It was rough. But anyway.
I thought it was for everybody.
There's only 2 of us.
I thought it was for everyone.
And I just woke up.
So you're asking for an extra point. This is a as close to the dog ate my homework as humanly possible.
It is what it is.
The 16-year-old ate his casserole.
16-year-old ate my
Casserole.
Very easy recipe. I used our
Good,
cocoa
you made it this
bread.
morning.
Our cocoa bread French toast casserole. That's what I'm calling it. So we used the cocoa bread, just vanilla abstract, cinnamon, brown sugar, butter. Takes all about like 2 hours. The one thing I will say is that when I did the research for this, a lot of people were calling for it to soak overnight. I don't think that's a good idea because the bread becomes too soggy. And right, and a lot of the comments that I found online were saying that. So instead, you leave it in there for upwards to, I think, like 1 or 2 hours, you'll get a better result. Now, I don't know this. I didn't try.
Or whatever time you had this morning.
Whatever time I had this morning.
Whatever
But I
2 hours you had this morning.
I was able to leave this in there for 55 minutes.
Okay.
As I came to the studio with it burning my hands because, I had to make another one. I hope you see this. And I hope you learn how important it is to ask before you eat people's stuff.
In his defense, did it say anything on the foil? Did it say do not touch, do not eat, anything like that?
No, but
There's only 2 people in the house.
We just moved into a new apartment, so the refrigerator is also empty, like literally yesterday. So the fact that you just
That's why he ate it. He was hungry.
He was hungry. You gotta feed him. You had no food in the house.
You ain't have no food.
He's 16.
Listen, bro.
You made him food.
Listen, bro. This was wrapped up in foil in the fridge. You didn't smell no French toast when you got up.
I'll play with you.
Crazy.
I'll play with you.
The one thing I will say is that the recipe does not call for icing. That was definitely, but because I had some expired vanilla extract, excuse me. I made this glaze this morning to kind of sweeten things up.
Thank God.
Because you had some expired vanilla extract, you decided to serve it.
It was either B or,
I'm glad it needed the icing.
it needed the icing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
100%.
You skipped the crumble.
the crumble.
There's like a crumble on top of this, supposed to be like a crumbly topping.
Oh, no,
Like
not
strudel?
No, not on my recipe. When I talked to ChatGPT, it didn't say nothing about no crumble.
Did ChatGPT?
Wait, did you follow which recipe did you follow?
So
what the hell's happening here?
So I took the recipe that you guys sent. I made it my own. I ignored the crumble completely. And I was like, yo, ChatGPT, I got cocoa bread. I got all the ingredients. Tell me what you think about making this recipe.
So this is AI.
AI made this?
No, whoa. We made this. Me and ChatGPT.
Me and Chad.
Me and Chad
GBT made this.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But also, that's kind of a tip. Like, if you're looking at a recipe and you're like, I don't know, throw the ingredients in ChatGPT.
No, you're gonna put me out of a job. You're gonna put me out of a job. Don't do that, please. Let us write books for you, please.
Poor Bryan
No,
Ford
good call, good
followed
call.
his
That's a very
recipe
good
to a
point.
T, just searching for brown butter.
I am not a chef. Let me put that out there. I'm not a chef, so
Okay, I feel you on the soak. I think this is a kind of a trendy thing. Like Squirrel does it in LA, where they soak the bread for 2 days or something. But I think it takes like a really thick, hearty piece of bread.
Yeah.
And the idea is you're gonna get kind of like almost like a puddingy center, like
a custardy things happening. Yes.
But I think that if you're not going to, I don't think everyone should just like soak every single bread pudding or French toast for a day. That's crazy. So let's get into some of the feedback here. Bryan Ford, you thought the icing is perfect consistency.
Yeah.
Right crackle.
You know what I'm talking about with the crackle, right?
Yes,
like
the
when you
crackle
touch
was
it
nice.
and it break.
The crackle's very, very nice.
Thank you.
Bread is moist in the middle. Great crispy edges. Needs more icing.
Oh, I brought
Oh yeah.
some.
Oh yeah.
A little more icing. Needs a little whiskey or rum sauce. To balance it
yes,
out.
So I
yes,
thought
yes.
this was a bread pudding, I guess. I mean, it kind of is, right?
Yeah, it's
It
a bread
is.
pudding.
And
This is
so
bread pudding.
Where I'm from, like when you eat bread pudding, like you get New Orleans, you get a whiskey or a rum sauce is a must
Yeah.
to drench over.
You kind of get drunk off bread pudding. That's a vibe.
That's, that's
when
the
you're
vibe.
making the when you're making the sauce.
I mean, you said from New Orleans.
Depends on when you, depends on who's making it. They don't always cook all the alcohol out. You
Yeah,
know
I was
what I'm
about to
saying?
say.
And then you eat it and you're like,
I'm a little lit.
is it the mimosa or is it my dessert?
I thought the same thing. My critique wasn't necessarily I need whiskey or rum sauce, but I wanted to eat that blueberry one. I wanted like a little variety,
Yes.
a little something else in there. A sauce would have been cool. I thought the texture was great. I think that you didn't need to soak it. You're totally right. I appreciate that it's not. This is the highest compliment. We talk about this all the time on the show. The highest compliment an Asian person can give a sweet thing is it's not too sweet.
Well, I'll take that.
Yeah, it wasn't too sweet. It was good. Yeah.
Cocoa bread, man. So smart. I think you're giving Rashida credit for that
Yeah,
idea,
yeah.
but like, oh my God, so
That's
delicious.
That is my culinary consultant. my great business partner over there.
Rashida, you like the cinnamon flavor, texture, nice icing on there.
Mm-hmm.
You were also craving some fruit.
Yeah, I wanted some fruit. I want the blueberry one.
I got you.
I'm gonna go yell at DJ next time I
yeah.
see him
Yep.
that you deprived me of the
You
fruit.
deprived us.
You want a little more sauce, like Brian said.
Mm-hmm.
You also love nuts. Is that what it is?
I do love nuts in
okay.
a
Bread pudding.
bread pudding.
Okay.
Yes, I'm a texture
What kind of
girl.
nut? Like a
Yeah,
like
yeah,
walnut
I'll take a walnut. I'll take a
candy,
I'll take
like
a pecan.
Okay.
Pecans up in there.
Pecans would hit.
Would
would
hit
do
in
that.
They
there.
would hit
Yeah,
on that.
I
yeah,
do
good
that.
one.
I'll even take like an almond, like an
Ooh.
almond on the top, like some slivered almonds.
Yeah,
I
take
take
some
some
slivered
slivered
almonds.
almonds.
Down.
I don't want those walnuts, but I'll take the.
I'm not a walnut guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
LDL.
Full circle moment. Ring around.
Always,
And
baby.
Rashida, your final thought on this, which I think we can all agree with. All bread pudding should be made with cocoa bread.
Yeah.
We have consensus on this, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
100%.
I'm with that.
All right, we have heard all of the evidence. I'm going to give everybody now a chance to come back and stand up for their dish as a thing you should make for a Sunday brunch at your house. Rashida, I'm going to come back to you. It's Mother's Day, any day. We're making brunch. I'm having friends over. What should I make? Why should I make? Not necessarily the New York Times version.
Why you should make
Why should I
tomato
look
sauce
at a
and eggs?
picture of the New York Times recipe and then kind of riff
Oh my God.
and just make an Indian spiced tomato and egg casserole?
Again, this is about impressing your family and friends with very low effort. This is the easiest one by far. Again, tomato sauce, your favorite spices, eggs, cooked to your desire. Throw it in the oven. I mean, you can't get any easier than to throw it in the oven in terms of a recipe. And then you can do biscuits, you can do sourdough, you can do cocoa bread, you can do roti, whatever dippity doo-dah bread you want to dippity doo-dah in there. You can do
I love that.
Yeah.
English muffin, bagels, whatever's already got, whatever you already got.
Tortillas, pita, lavash, whatever.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I wouldn't recommend a croissant.
Nah, we don't recommend
I don't
croissants on
recommend
Recipe
croissant
Club.
for this one, but literally any other breakfast bread is a wonderful companion to this dish.
Media Luna, though.
Claro que sí. Media lunas. Definitely a media luna.
Media Luna.
Yes.
Anything.
You get it.
Delightful. Bryan Ford. Speak
it's-
to your audience
yeah,
here.
Like it's very simple. It's very simple. First and foremost, these are phenomenal pancakes, right? And I gotta go back and highlight that. The second thing is you're talking about impressing your friends and family. It could be your wife, it could be your mother. Look, if you make pancakes in a simple way from the box with some syrup, they will be more than happy and delighted with your efforts. A good pancake goes a long way. Now, if you go above and beyond and you make these pancakes, she will remember you forever for these pancakes. She will remember these pancakes forever. Whoever eats these pancakes will remember them for a long time because they are quite unique. All right? Warm those sesame seeds. All right? crush that brittle. Make a brittle paste.
warm
Right?
them
Because here's the
sesame
thing.
seeds.
Here's the thing. Warm those sesame seeds. Make your brittle paste. And don't brown your butter and make the apples. Or brown the butter and make the apple. I'll tell you this.
Yes.
These are really, really, really great pancakes. And whilst I found some of the steps to be ridiculous, brunch in and of itself is ridiculous. So I would argue that a good pancake is probably the best thing you could give someone at brunch. It's one of the best things you could give someone on Mother's Day. It's one of the best gifts that can come out of a kitchen on this occasion. So
Just don't expect it more than once a year.
just don't hell no, yeah, be careful. Just keep the yellow box for the other days, but this is the yellow box. This is the special day pancakes.
Dare I say the Mother's Day pancake?
this is the Mother's Day pancakes.
Malique,
Yo.
it's Sunday brunch. Friends are coming over. Why should they make easy French toast casserole?
It's because you're probably tired of French toast how you have it already. This is just an elevation of that. Simple, easy, same ingredients, right? You just shake the table up because you delivered it in a casserole dish. Hopefully nobody eats it before breakfast, but I mean before brunch usually. But it's easy, it's
DJ getting
elevated.
flamed.
You could use whatever bread you want, which is also fun. I just advise it be thick and able to really just absorb all of the good deliciousness of the spices and nutmeg and cinnamon. You can't go wrong. Another thing about this dish is that it serves so many people. You do it in a full casserole dish like this, and it's not that much ingredients. I mean, we used maybe 4 pieces of cocoa bread, and by we I mean me and ChatGPT. So you use 4 or 5 pieces. Oh, let me stop touching the table. So you use 4 or 5.
Me and my best friend.
You use 4 or 5 pieces of cocoa bread, and this could probably serve easily. I'd say like 8 to 10 people easily. So yeah, it's a winner. It's a winner in my book. Treat yourself.
There you have it. Those are the final closing arguments for our brunch episode. When we come back, I'm going to give you your to-go orders, 3 takeaways for a great brunch recipe.
Oh, lovely.
And then we are going to get to everybody's favorite part of brunch, scoring and judgment.
Yeah, scoring and judgment.
We are back. Before I announce the winner of today's episode of Recipe Club, we've got to give you your to-go orders, your 3 takeaways for a great brunch recipe. First of all, I wasn't expecting this to be one of our takeaways, but based on what we saw today here, cocoa bread is the real secret hero of brunch.
Yeah.
All French toasts, as Rashida said, should be made with cocoa bread.
Yeah.
That is your first takeaway.
I agree.
Second, I'm gonna give flowers to Bryan Ford here, even though he doesn't recommend his recipe. I do think if you're making a special brunch for Mother's Day specifically, or an occasion for a loved one, it is a time to pull out the stops, do something memorable, put in too much effort, make a mess of the kitchen because you only do it once a year. Not every brunch deserves it, but maybe a special Mother's Day brunch deserves it. And finally, as Rashida pointed out with her dish, if you're gonna do eggs, you need a dippity doodah.
You need a dippity doodah. That was good. Hey, dippity doodah.
Dippity doodah.
You need a dippity doodah.
Yo, when I see you now, I'm like, dippity doodah. Dippity doodah.
Now,
great.
for everyone's favorite part of brunch, selecting a winner. Today, everyone rated one another's dishes. We took the scores they gave us out of a possible 5.0. We averaged out to give us 1 deliciousness score. I also asked the producers in the booth to listen in and give a score for which one of these recipes they were most likely as amateur cooks to try on their own. And finally, I am adding my own score out of 5 for the thoughtfulness, cleverness, ingenuity with which you each approach this task of coming up with a brunch recipe for a maximum possible score of 15 points.
Ooh. I didn't know this was part of it.
Right? I would have put some more points.
In the deliciousness category, this is as close, I think, as it's ever been.
It was all good.
Winning by 0.05.
Wow.
But winning, nevertheless, the deliciousness score as tabulated by the contestants themselves. Bryan Ford's
Hey, the pancakes.
labor of love
Very
pancakes.
nice. Very nice.
Good stuff.
Wow.
Should I
I'm
give
glad
you
y'all
that
found it delicious.
4.5? That's messed up. That's probably me.
Buyer's remorse?
No. I thought they were great. I thought they were great.
The producers who have not had the benefit of tasting anything, they've only listened to what you guys said and chose which recipe they would probably most likely pursue, chose Rashida's riff on the New York Times picture
Hey.
Good stuff.
Indian eggs and tomato. And my winner for the thoughtfulness category, you all had so many smart things to say about this task. But I'm really giving this for his sleuthing work and his investigative journalism in finding there is no brown butter in the brown butter pancakes. I'm going to give this to Bryan Ford.
Yeah. I want to read this. I feel like it's hidden in the recipe
I gotta
somewhere.
see it.
No,
I
'cause
gotta see
it would have to be the first thing you do. You would have to brown the butter
It's
first.
true. It's true.
Listen,
It's true.
It's a Pulitzer.
True.
You got a Pulitzer for your investigative work. Now, the total points winner for this week with a score of 12.57 is Rashida Holmes' New York Times inspired Indian spice tomato and egg casserole.
Thanks.
I'm going to say that it did win, even though you didn't follow the recipe. If people at home are going to do this, I think you can follow the recipe
For sure.
the
Just
tomato.
leave the potatoes out.
Leave the potatoes out. Get some cocoa bread.
Yeah.
Yes.
Get some roti. Get a
Yeah.
dippity doodah.
Get a dippity doodah.
Dippity
Dippity
doodah.
doodah. Dippity doodah.
Rashida, congratulations.
Cool.
You are not just getting bragging rights.
What do I get?
You get a fantastic prize for your next brunch at home, whether you're serving a charcuterie board or some pastries with butter, cheese plate. It is a custom,
God.
one-of-a-kind recipe club emblazoned charcuterie board.
Oh my goodness. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something.
Why didn't you say that was up for grabs before we
Yeah,
started?
I know. I didn't know this was a contest.
I would have built it up. If I knew that was up for grabs, come on, bro.
Crazy.
I'm just playing.
I didn't know that this was a contest.
Look at this. You got the heart shape dip sauce cups.
Can I touch it? Can I?
You
I
can.
just want
My wife is going to be delighted.
She is going to be so
She
happy.
loves charcuterie.
All
serious?
I want is the social
That's
media
crazy.
posts. Guys, we need this of Rashida holding up her prize just with the quote on there. I didn't know this was a contest. That's all I need that picture. So badly I need that picture. Malique and Bryan, you're not going home empty-handed. Bryan, you're schlepping this back home. Courtesy of the official cookware sponsor
no.
of Recipe Club Meyer. We're sending you
pans.
all with a
man. I
piece
did-
of IO series nonstick
the
cookware.
David Chang. I didn't check a bag though, so can y'all mail this to me?
Look at us.
I didn't check a bag. Dang,
That's
snap.
That's
That's
nice.
a nice.
What I
That's the
also
David Chang design.
what I also
Oh, that's
really
a
like
David
is that we
Chang.
gave Bryan the biggest one possible.
right?
He's like, you
For
can
more
have
pancakes.
I just have a carry-on, but I'll figure it out.
figure it out.
Thank
can carry
you
that
to Rashida, Bryan, and Malique for joining me on this episode of Recipe
course.
Club. Thank all of you for listening and watching along. Recipe Club is brought to you by Major Domo Media and The Ringer. Visit majordomo.com for all of the recipes, or at least a picture of the recipe that you can be inspired by, and much, much more. We will see you all real soon.
Bye.
Bye, guys.